Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Gerald. It is Sunday, the 3rd of January, 2016. How is each and every one of y'all doing? How was your new year? I know that you guys celebrated. I know some of you may have been relieved because you were finally letting go of 2015. You're looking back at where you were. You took the time to reflect on the things that mattered most. And you know what? Rightfully so. Because the fact of the matter is, it's your life. You get to see it through your eyes. So it's very important, at the minimum, that you position yourself around the things that are going to help you grow, that's going to help you understand you. Sure, you're going to have plenty of people that are going to tell you what they think you need to do for you. But what you need to ask yourself is, what does that heart validate? What does that discernment guide you? You know the real. And I think that a lot of you are waking up into your purpose. Some of you are waking up to validation of things that may have puzzled you. Because, see, you know what? That's what God does. Oh, yes. I know some of y'all woke up and things that have been hidden are starting to manifest in your life. You might be seeing them come by way of your dreams. You may be seeing them by way of spiritual synchronicity and serendipitous events. Because, see, we're talking about the spiritual realm, y'all. We are. I mean, the one thing I've learned in my life, because I'm right there with you, is because God is a custom tailored God. When you think no one's looking, that's when you're being reviewed. I know I'm talking to someone. When you think no one knows, it is being inventoried. I know I'm talking to someone. When you think it's done and behind you, it is brought in front of you. Who am I talking to? You know why? Because, see, everything comes full circle, y'all. It has to, because it gravitates around your spiritual essence. So, as I have learned long ago, well, let me stop. Now going on 4 years, yeah, 4. Because I embraced my walk October 18th, 2011. So nearly 5. This year will be 5. And the one thing I realized is, see, the more and more that you allow those distractions that are blocking your heart, once you have the courage to stop looking at those things, the more your clarity will come. Because we're talking about truth. Doesn't mean that the truth has to be sweet, painless. Sometimes your truth are going to come to you like a bull in a china shop. Why? Because we're talking about your path. We're talking about your alignment. We're talking about your associations. And we're talking about the people that want to rob you of your life. I know, so you hear Tyson in the background. He's like, yep. I really hope that over the New Year's, you guys have given yourself permission to start the journey to heal. Because if you haven't, you do realize you are doing yourself the greatest disservice because you're not living your life. You might as well be living someone else's because it's not benefiting you, because you're not taking care of you. And I say that with all sincerity and compassion because you deserve to be happy. But then I also know this too. I know that there are some people that woke up this morning with a stronghold so deep, and you have this mindset of, well, you know what? I want retribution. I want to get back. And Gerald, I don't care what's coming out your mouth because vengeance is mine. Well, you know what? You can go ahead and do that. But see, just know this. The devil's always looking for a 2-for-1 deal. So if he can use you to do his business bidding to get that person, he's going to play you like a puppet. Doesn't mean that you don't have the right to be upset right now. But if you're going to be upset, put the accountability as it rightfully should. Because guess what? No one can make you do nothing you won't allow. So guess what? You were in that mix. You were in that bowl we know as distraction, and you were stirring it up. Don't forget that. When things were looking all good and stuff, you didn't know what the price was that you were paying until the morning come. So now, some of you are waking up. Some of y'all have been waiting on this day for a long time. And the clarity is coming in and it's hitting you hard. And you may be emotional right now. Your emotions are like a roller coaster right now because you're trying to understand what's going on inside you because it feels foreign. Don't be afraid. That's just you. That's the real you trying to push that toxic connections that you thought was your safety net out. When I turned around and I spoke about this year being about being authentic, I meant it. The days of making it to fake it are over. It is about real recognizes real. The game's up. And you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna be seeing people that are gonna be portraying their lives as they know it, and you're gonna see traits about yourself through their behaviors. And you're gonna scratch your head and you're gonna be like, wow, that used to be me at one time. And it's gonna make you feel a certain way. What you are witnessing is humility. See, that's another part of your personality that you may have strayed from because unbeknownst to you, it was not illustrated in your development. We act what we attract. Each one teach one. So once again, if you're being reared in an environment where people do not know themselves from the inside out, well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, the one with the most influence, you're going to imitate. That's why you hear imitation is the best flattery. But really, the best flattery is witnessing you. So, how are you doing, y'all? I woke up this morning bright and early thinking about y'all. And at first, my whole intent was to come on here and just for a moment, I wanted to take the time out to say thank you. That's right. Thank you. Because you don't have to come to my channel. You don't have to listen to what comes out my mouth. You don't have to embrace what I'm sharing. Because you have your life, I have mine. You have your path, I have mine. But the commonality should be that we both strive to live in peace, to be one with ourselves, to place God first in everything we do. Because the moment that you decide to acknowledge His presence, your life is going to change, y'all. It's going to change. Y'all know that parable, pressure buster pipe? Same thing. The moment that you have the courage to remove that block, your life will start flowing. I know some of y'all been struggling with your finances for quite some time. Yeah, you have. You're tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And every time that you try to take one step forward, there's always something that you got to get out the way, and that takes you 4 steps back. You know why you're going through that? You're going through that for 2 reasons. One, for you to come and witness your boundaries and set a structure up for the direction you want to go in your life. I got this feeling right now. Somebody's waking up and they're saying, you know what? I thought it was cute. I thought I could do this as an advantage. And you're tired of what it's making you feel like, because every time you look yourself in the mirror, you know a piece of you has been taken away, because you tired of being this. I don't even like using the word hate, but I really despise the word side chick. That is such a disservice to every woman that walks the planet. Just like that term baby mama. If you are a mother, then that's what you are. But that's a title that is earned by responsibility. But see, we also know that those words were systematically put in society, because 9 times out of 10, the person that came up with that did not know how to communicate and didn't want to waste their time to look up a proper definition to describe what they were trying to do. So they watered down and made up a colloquialism that stuck, which really is a slap in your face, because, you know, we tend to hold on to things that don't want to make us grow. And it's very appalling. But to get back to what I was saying, I got a feeling that a lot of women are starting to wake up, and a lot of men. Let's call a spade a spade. You tired of using your body. You tired of it. You want to feel loved. You want the real thing. You're tired of playing Russian roulette with your organs. You're tired of looking at the spots and dots that show up on your body, and you scratch your head, how did that get there? Well, I keep trying to tell you. See, that devil wants to destroy you from the inside out. And no better way to get into somebody from the inside is to get them here. So if your mind ain't straight, everything else is going to be unprotected. Oh yeah, it's true. That's why you have so many people that think that manipulation, control, deception is going to give them one leg up. But you're going to come to see, even in your life, directly or indirectly, you're going to pay for each and every one of those deeds. You're going to do it. That has to play out because that was energy that you may have not known you put out there. So guess what? It's going to come back. Do you think that was just a flavor of the month that people keep saying that? You hear it in the movies, you hear it in the songs, you hear it in whatever means of communication of everything coming full circle because it's the truth. You reap what you sow. So let's look at it like this. That reaper, you think of that man that's out there in that harvest, out there in that field, and he's swinging that swing blade. Well, guess what? It takes action to bring it up, to bring it back. So if it is put out negatively, what do you expect to come back? And I think a lot of you are tired of sugarcoating the reality of your lives too. Because I got this feeling someone's saying right now, I deserve better, Gerald. I shouldn't be where I am now. I'm struggling for what? For no growth? I have responsibilities that are not mine. And I don't understand how I got snagged up in there. Well, I'm going to tell you how you got snagged up in there. Because a lot of times we allow our sight to deceive us. We do. Our hearts too. And the same thing, and what's sad about it is you have a lot of people that don't want to do the work. You notice the same people that put that energy out and never do it to someone that is equal to them. It's always an imbalance. There's always a leverage there. But guess what? Sooner or later, they're exposed. There's more collateral damage that comes from it. And you may know that as burning bridges. Well, I look at it as an opportunity to really weigh where you are in your life. I know somebody right now is admitting to themselves that you have an addiction problem. You've had it for a very, very long time. You've hid it from your family very well. You've even been so covert with it that the friends that you uh, align yourself with also sit at that table. And but the price of it is when it's all said and done, you feel that void inside you gets wider. That darkness inside you gets a little bit more footing in you. And you're afraid. You're afraid. And here's the ironic part about it is you know better. There was a time that you used to walk with God, but for some reason, because of the fact that something happened and you were angry, instead of taking it out and having the courage to address it at the person that may have unjustly did you wrong, you just said, I'm a, you had the audacity to say, well, God, if it's your fault. Well, let me tell you something. I think that was one of the reasons why God, one of the last things God said before, um, when he was crucified, the last words he said, Father, they know not what they do. And I really believe that has merit not only now, but to come. Because without the proper knowledge, you'll never have clarity. Without clarity, you can't be grounded. And if you're not grounded, you're not going to know where you're going. So you're not protected. So guess what? You're vulnerable to the things that will never uplift you. It'll hold you back. It'll deplete you. It'll rob you of your time and will rob you of your health. And the fact of the matter, deep, let's call it, you scared. You are scared, and you rightfully so. Rightfully so. I got this. I don't know who this is going out to. Go get a checkup, get blood work done, because you've been very, very reckless with your life. And unbeknownst to you, you might not know that you may have something going on with you that can be very detrimental if you leave it unchecked. I know somebody's saying, "What are you talking about? Like an STD, Gerald?" No, this is worse. This is something that it's like, excuse me, it's like will have long-term effects on your health. Go get some blood work done. It'll give you peace of mind. But to get back to what I was saying, some of you have taken, I know a lot of you stayed home too. You didn't go nowhere. You may have had numerous offers to be to and fro. You entertained a couple of them too because they sounded great. But you enjoyed being wherever you were because just for that moment you had peace. You actually allowed yourself to go within yourself and you dumped out that emotional backpack and you looked over this past year. You looked at those challenges. You looked at those bonds. You looked at those interludes. Yeah, you know those. The ones that no one's supposed to know about, but the ones that you're dreading that if they come out, you'll be embarrassed. That's not your path. But I ain't got to tell you that because you know. See, sometimes we as people, we'll deliberately lowball our potential just to feel validated instead of cultivating what is rightfully intended for our lives because we want the instant result. Like I call it having a microwaveable mentality. We don't want to, we want to just pop things in, hit the numbers, and expect things to be the way we want, but we get mad because there are always something that we forgot to do left undone. I think this is going to be the year that you guys are going to start to take ownership. Some of you are actually listening to your voice for the very first time because you're speaking your truth. And some of you are having the courage to take that first step back to you. I commend you for that. I commend you. I really do. But I will say this because, you know, those opportunists, because you ain't spoke to them in 3 days don't mean they done gone away. See, they're going to do research on their own too. They're going to See, they already feel a change in your mind and your behavior. Some of the things that they could get away with murder that you would not question, they don't have that leverage anymore, and they're starting to wonder what is really going on. Instead of taking, we're basically looking at it as they're wising up. I should have never been there anywhere, and because, you know, because I didn't see their worth, they let me do whatever. I think some of you are seeing that division start to take root. All I'm going to say on that is this: allow your life to take the natural course it's supposed to go. If it's divinely meant, I don't care what it is. If it's meant for you to have, you're going to have it. You're going to have it because it's ordained. Don't you realize anything that's ordained by God will come to pass? It's going to come. But see, that devil wants you to think otherwise. Oh, yeah, because the devil's a liar. Don't get it twisted. And with that being said, you're going to start to see people allow those masks to fall off. Mm-hmm. Those masks are going to start cracking. Those truths are going to resonate up. And they're going to be put right in your face. And guess what? That devil's banking that you are going to allow that emotional trigger to do something stupid. That's right. You knew that man was not faithful. And you angry because of it. But let's be real. You weren't faithful. I know I'm talking to someone. That wasn't a blessed union anyway. It was never yoked. But I'll say this too. We have the right to change every day. It's a state of mind and it's a choice. That's why you can't be in two places at one time. You can't. Try as you must. And you seeing it. You. What does your intuition tell you? Okay. Well, your discernment. For some that don't know that word, your gut feeling. You already know something ain't right. You feel it. It's because it's not. So you can handle it like this. You can be two adults about it and address the situation. Handle it with grace. Or you can do like so many other people. Lie to the umpteenth time. Inherit more pain and more delay. And it's got to play out because guess what? The person that's intended to be in your life can't get to you if you're not prepared. You'll squander it. People do it all the time. That's why you hear, if I could turn back the hands of time, R. Kelly. Or coulda, woulda, shoulda. If only I could. Well, guess what? None of that matters if you're not prepared. And you can't hold on to something that's not yours. That's why stolen moments are only moments stolen from you. Yeah, that's true. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think a lot of y'all are starting to take accountability in your lives and you're looking back and you may have made some decisions that have some repercussions to them. And you, I don't want to use the word terrified, but you're concerned that if it ever came out that there's going to be some repercussions for it. But guess what? If you were never supposed to be there to begin with, you were in the same position you was when you first got there. This is nothing but insight. And as you progress down your life and you look back, your wisdom will come. Your worth will be fortified, and you'll love yourself more because you'll come to understand that those people over there were never your friends. Why do you think I keep echoing that? My queens, you don't get a gold star for dumbing yourself down. Oh, you want to be with him, but you're going to act like you don't have the intellect when in actuality, you do. You got to play a position instead of being yourself. Come on. Where's the benefit in that? Because see, the person that's going to earn the right to hear you breathe, to know you as a friend, is going to do the work. But guess what? They'll never complete you. You complete yourself. But you will see a parallel in both your lives. You'll see it. But it has to come from a place of truth. It can't come from a place of physicality. See, that's why a lot of times you see people distraught and they're like, well, physically we got chemistry, but that's all we got. So why are you with them? If you were to fall down and get sick today, would they be there for you? Or would they just step right over you and keep on moving like you never existed? I think some of y'all realizing that too. That's not your life. But see, if you continue to allow what you see to influence you, why does it surprise you? You are way from where you should be. I got this feeling right now. There's a king out there. You hanging with a certain circle of peers. And every day you in that mirror pretty much mimicking what you would say and how you would act. And you trying to convince yourself you're a thug. That's right. You trying to convince yourself you hard like that, knowing you wasn't raised like that. And now, unbeknownst to you, you done went out there and got you a firearm. And you thinking, well, as long as I got this piece of metal, that'll be my persuader. Let me tell you something. Don't you realize those that live by the gun die by the gun? It's the same as the Bible. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. So why are you putting yourself at death's door? I know I'm talking to someone. And I'm not saying this to disrespect you. I'm saying this to empower you. They ain't your friends. They never were your friends. They're only around you because of what you bring to the table, not what they contribute. And you keep turning a blind eye. So you might as well be that little pet on the leash. When things go down, you the person that is the stunt man. Why are you taking L's? Don't you realize your destiny is written the moment that you took your first breath? And here's the funny thing about it. Your parents have told you this too. And you are rebelling. The question should be asked, why? Why are you rebelling? Why are you running from yourself? What is it that has you feeling that way? Maybe if you just stop and look inside yourself. See, here's the thing. How can you call yourself strong when you don't speak your truth? I know I'm talking to someone. You always the one saying, well, if that was me, I would do this. And when given the opportunity, you're like a church mouse. Because that's the truth. The truth is, that is not where you should be. And if you stay on that path, it's going to cost you severely. I know my spirit just said they already know. You've had it already illustrated indirectly. You know somebody's that something has happened that was very grave and it shook you. But you have this loyalty with them, but you don't have a loyalty with yourself. You have your own destiny, your own life, and you have your own work that you got to do. Why why does it not surprise you? That's why I mentioned before. Every time that you try to do something that will truly have a good benefit for your growth and development, they the first ones to try to criticize, try to talk you off of that ledge from investing in yourself. Why? Because these people don't want to do the work. These people proverbially are doing like this. These people are allowing socially the parameters to set the direction of their lives. And these people are not going to grow. You don't need a wake up call, but it will come to show you that's not where you should have been all along. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Thank you for your patience. So, I got this feeling somebody's waking up to a reality check, but it's really a divine truth. I got a king out there that realizes that he wanted exclusivity with this this queen. And come to find out, she was a switch hitter. And for a long time, he scratched his head because intuitively things just didn't add up. And the times that he said, well, you know what? Maybe it's best that we should just be friends. And I check up on you every now and then. That's when he got the attention the most. But little did he realize that everything that was conveyed was built off of a lie. I got the same feeling that there's a queen out there that you're waking up out of a bed and you're looking over at this king, and you see dreams and aspirations when you stare at him. Sometimes you watch him when he sleeps, and you say time and time, if you would only do this, if you would only do that, I would be happy. I would be your forever. But the reality is, he is who he is, and there are multiple other women in his life. And the same things that you do, he does. And you're kind of concerned about your health now because he's introduced you to things that would be deemed as taboo or things shared behind closed doors that a husband and wife would share in their discoveries. And you're feeling some kind of way. You've said to yourself, how dare you treat me like a piece of meat? And he laughs. He has this mindset of, oh, you'll get over it, but you'll never get over you, but you'll never get over me because I do that thing. And that is his weapon to keep you hooked in. But the truth is, he doesn't love you. He never has. And you were there for his amusement and recreation. And it's got you feeling a certain kind of way. Let me let you know something. You know the reason why you're seeing this now? Because once again, God is showing mercy on your life for the choices that you've made. You mad because you to show your alliance or allegiance to this person. You went and got ink done for this guy. You say, well, if I turn around and I look a certain way, I act a certain way, I do things only that is shared in magazines and movies, he'll come a little closer. We'll finally have that happy ever after. But the truth of the matter is you've been living a nightmare. And you're embarrassed because as you look at yourself in the mirror, you tend to do that when you step out of the shower. You got to think, I know I'm talking to someone, you got to think for that mirror. I don't want to say you conceited, but you loves you some you. But the more and more that you look at yourself, you're starting to look at the ink. You got some piercings too. And now you're saying, not only have I spent this money, to build a false lie. Now I got to spend some more money to relieve this burden. I know I'm talking to someone. See, now you had to see this because, once again, you're seeing favor because, see, the man or that woman, if this is a king, is going to be a spiritual person. They hold the key to the other side of your life. See, the person that you were breaking bread with was only sharing that room. I know I'm talking to someone. You spent so much time trying to convince this person to spend time with you. And you've told them boastfully, only time you spend time with me is when my legs are open. Oh, you got me doing something strange. So, yeah, you feel a certain kind of way, but stop worrying about the soreness in your backside and look at the soreness in your heart, because you're going to come to see a commonality is you too were rebelling. You were searching for something that was there all along. It was inside you. And that's why they were never supposed to hear you breathe. But we learn, we learn, but some of us don't. Some of us have a built-in turnstile inside our minds where people just come verbally and only come around to deplete you more and more. You got to remember, think back before you started having these disappointments and the person you were then. Do you remember where you were and what you were doing? If it's not progressive compared to who you were then to who you are now, you're looking at your distractions. You're looking at your delays. You're looking at the people and situations that were orchestrated by the devil all along. And you're waking up. You're waking up. But see, that God, the great I am, he loves you so much that the pain you feel is really the washing away of those blocks. When you're going to give yourself permission to rest, when you're going to give yourself permission to cry, when you're going to give yourself permission to heal, you're not, you're just holding space until you do those things. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. You could try as you must, and you're going to fail each and every time. And guess what? Each time you don't get back to you, the more the pain comes, the more the blocks come, the more your money starts to get funny. That's one of the number one blocks that we as humans go through. Our money starts acting up. That's a synchronistic sign that whoever is in your environment is not supposed to be around you. That's a telltale sign right there. Because you're supposed to live in abundance. You're supposed to. Because it's a reflection of your harvest, the seeds that you've planted. But I'll tell you this, you got a lot of people that unfortunately their harvest is a reflection of actions past. So you're starting to see what socially we know is karma. and it's going to play out. Some people may know it as your spiritual storm, but just know this, my kings and queens. If you are in your spiritual storm, you're not alone. You have people that are praying for you, and they want nothing but the best for you, because what's going to come out of it is you're going to have solace about yourself. This is a spiritual means of you embracing your true self. That little boy, that little girl is found inside your heart. So guess what happens? All those fake people, they ain't gonna have access to you. Every time you try to have access to them, guess what? There'll be something that will intercede that. And those people that genuinely have your best interest, you'll know. I'm gonna tell you how you'll know too. You'll start seeing synchronistic events. You might hear a song that will make you think about that person. You may see something that may make you think about a memory. You may actually hear something from a stranger that only you can relate to, which is spiritually tied. That's why you hear the term soul ties. You have soul ties and you have spiritual ties. Soul ties are nothing but your blocks and delays that were established through a bond of lust. These are connections that you had with another person because you were sleeping around, and your spirits are tied to each other. A spirit tie is made of love, genuine love. But haven't you noticed this? I know somebody's saying, well, Gerald, if they love me, why are they not there? You speak of love so much, why are they not there now? Probably 9 times out of 10 because it was probably something that you did not do. And they saw their worth, and they knew that you didn't get it. So instead of watching you destroy your life, instead of watching you put harm to your body, instead of watching you downward spiral, they took a position of putting it in God's hands. And they pray for you. Oh, trust and believe. There's somebody praying for you right now you know nothing about. You probably forgot about these people. And every day, your name is spoken. They're praying for your deliverance. They're praying for your breakthrough. And they're praying that you will see your worth. But only you know that because you have to do your work. It's your life. You know, it's so funny. I got this feeling right now. You're frustrated because people call you out your name, but you don't take accountability for your actions. But more importantly, you turn a blind eye to your attractions. I know that needs to go out to someone. Someone's someone's like, he calls me out my name all the time. Why do you put up with it? Why you put up with it? But why do you do what you do? You think because you behind closed doors, that energy does not find its way to the spiritual realm? Don't let me make this clear to y'all, and I'm going to shut up. God has a way because He's a custom tailored God. I've come to learn that when you align yourself with Him wholeheartedly, unconditionally. He will reveal things to you. You won't even have to search. It'll be made revealed. Everything. It's like, picture yourself at a big table, right? And whatever the question may have been is in the form of a puzzle piece, right? And your life is the box that the puzzle pieces come in. And whatever that challenge is, whatever that circumstance may be, as you have dumped those pieces up, remember I'm talking about your emotional backpack, so we can tie that in there too. The more you place focus on yourself, another piece goes into play. The more that you embrace who you really are, that beautiful man, that beautiful woman, another piece is in place. The more that you embrace your direction, another piece is put in place, to the point that you'll start to see things fall. You'll start to see things that were once blocks are not blocks. And it will continue to play out until all things that were pondered are revealed, which is really nothing but your validation. And really is nothing but your discernment. So need not worry when I say this, y'all. If you're pondering something, you got to have that conversation with God. You got to forgive yourself. I know, let's keep it 100. Some of us have struggled in our development as adults because of the behaviors and actions that we did in our 20s, in our late teens. I know I'm talking to someone. You're frustrated now because those seeds of those actions in your past, you never atoned for them. So what's going on is, I don't want to say there's a prideful spirit over you, but it's like it's being orchestrated so that God is saying, no, I'm not going to give you what you need to squander it. I'm going to allow you to hold space, to reflect. And the only thing that has access to that is the way you think. So it'll be those people. And it's going to force you to take inventory on what you need. It's going to force you to take accountability on you. So when I say to each and every one of you, when you hear the term, when I began my walk, I highly recommend, if this is the first time you've been in my videos, go back to my very first video. You will see a man that was broken. I was broken, y'all. I was in the midst of my spiritual storm. I was at a crossroad where I could have gone one direction or I could have went the other, and I leaned upon God's direction because I knew that He was the only one that could fix it. And you know what came out of that? Truth. As I allowed myself to heal, I began to grow. As I began to grow, I gained insight. As I start to gain and understand my insight, my wisdom would come out of it. And what would come out of that would be clarity and validation. See, the man that you see in the beginning is still the same man that is speaking to you now. And I love God. And I know my worth. And I had to take courage to fight for it. See, you're going to have many people that are going to come to you to distract you from you. If you don't know what is being revealed in front of you, you don't know what position to take. I know that needs to go out to someone. So, Queen, you have every right to feel the way you do. You've been asking this man for over 2 years when we gonna be official. And he's done everything he can to distract you from the truth. But the truth is, he's still married. But he still wants you. So how can he honor you when he's not honoring himself? You do a disservice every moment because you will come to understand this, y'all. Let's keep it 100. When you make a conscious decision to be physically intimate with someone, the worst thing that you have to worry about is not attracting a STD. The worst thing you have to fear is attracting someone that has a dark spirit in them. Because whoever has the dominant spirit, the weaker will exhibit those traits. That's why, queens, you see this a lot of times. For those that are, and this too, kings. See, right now you're in your youth, you're enjoying your body, and you willfully are sleeping around. You're being very promiscuous. Now, first of all, let me ponder this one question. If you truly valued your body, your greatest asset next to your spirit, why would you give it to anybody when they don't see their worth, when they won't protect you, when they won't grow with you? Why would you give yourself to anyone when they have not earned the right? But see, we live in a society now where we're doing some social we're doing some social prostituting. Let's call it 100. You got a lot of women out here sleeping around because they don't want to economically do what they need to do to stand on their own. So they feel that, well, if I give you a little honey, you'll give me some money. Well, anything that's in trade in that aspect is prostitution. And you're wondering why he calls you out your name? Because that's how he sees you. I told you that, y'all. Why you think he doing this? And the moment that you don't do what you need to do, guess what he gonna do? He gonna expose you. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, women do it too. Women do it too. They say, you know what? Bump having pictures. I got videos. And she got a catalog of all her conquests except for the one. Because see, the one, he respects himself. Now, what you decide to do behind closed doors, that's your business. So what does the world need to see it for? Because we are let's make this perfectly clear. There is no one that owns an internet provider. except for the NSA. Oh yeah, uh-huh. Your face, what you say, what you do, is sitting on a server forever. But I also understand that deception comes in many forms. I understand that, and I also know that when you love someone, you may feel that that's a sacrifice to prove your loyalty. No, no, no. Prove your loyalty, get a ring. How about that? How about change that name? How about that? And if y'all want to swing from the chandeliers, that's your business. But just make sure that your mate shares the same mindset and direction you do. Because I say this because you deserve to have the. But anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox and I'm going to leave it alone. 2016 is going to be your get it year. Watch what comes from out the darkness. Watch what was hidden come out. Ground your feet because you're going to be tested emotionally. But just know this, if God ain't in it, it can't last. And that's how you'll know your direction. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Lastly, I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me just a moment in your life. I hope that 2016 is abundant and bountiful for all the things that you desire that are done authentically. But remember this, we're not talking about the things we need to as a community. And that's why we have a lot of calamity and a lot of unnecessary loss of life going on every day. I ain't got to tell you, just turn on the news. But I think one of our greatest threats out there is mental illness, y'all. Now, I could easily go on a spiritual aspect on that and tell you that all you're seeing is nothing but a manifestation of a demon. And I ain't got to remind you that because some of y'all already know that because you've seen the behaviors of some of the people that you care about, and you're like, what has gotten into that person? Hello? What has gotten into that person? Something has influence of that person's spirit. Pray for them. Take your pride and ego out of side and do something for someone else. You're worth it and you're blessed. But on a different note, if you got something going on with you emotionally and you are tired, well, I want you to invest in yourself. Go talk to a therapist. Go talk to a counselor. Stop talking to your friends because your friends are in the same boat as you. And don't talk to your family members. I know you said, well, why not the family? What about that? Because maybe what you're seeking for advice, that might be something they have not mastered. So they can't give you sound opinion. Talk to someone that don't have an agenda. Because trust and believe, there are some people that are connected to your life that don't want to see you grow. They want you to play a position. And the moment that you decide to love yourself more, they start acting out. I ain't got to tell you that. I know I'm talking to someone. Every time you go around that person, they're like, they act brand new around you. Like, I didn't do nothing to you. Why you acting nasty? Why? Because they're afraid of change. You know why they're afraid of change? Because secretly they're miserable. And they don't have the courage to look at what that burden is. So guess what? They need you to play your position to be that sounding board. Seems like the only time they come around is when they want to unload everything on you. And you've given them time and given them sound advice. And guess what? It don't matter. It go in one ear and out the other. Why? Because they consciously make a decision that that's their life. And guess what? They want to rob you of yours. I would love to hear from you. If you got any questions and concerns, by all means, hit me up. And all my videos, if there's someone that you know that it resonates to or can make a difference, share them. Put them out there. That's what they're for. Each one, teach one. You know why? Because you're loved and you're blessed. Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye.